They say you don't become a witch. That it's just one day you wake up and realize that's what you've always been. The one that doesn't always fit in. The one that likes the woods, the sun and sky, cats, owls, and the moon. The one who stays up late reading books, playing role-playing games, and learning the names of the stars. The one that likes to wear black eyeliner, capes. And then you realize, oh, that's what I am. I'm a witch.
I'm a witch. I'm a witch. Every time it says that at the end, I go, I'm a witch. I'm a witch. Lola, are you a witch?
I'm a witch. I think we're witches, Bella. I think it's too late to go back now.
It's too late. I got it splattered on my forehead. I am Belladonna LaVeau. Hey, welcome to us today. And this is our lovely, my partner in crime, Lady Lola Stardust. We're so happy to be here with you today, bringing you the Seeker's Path. Right?
Yes. So, the Seeker's Path Oracle deck is what it is. Yes.
Seeker's Path Oracle deck. So what we're doing is we're spending, there's 52 cards, and we spend each week talking about a different Oracle card in the deck. We talk about the principle of it in witchcraft itself, and then what it would mean to us if we drew it in a card. And we ask you to please comment and interact with us as much as you want to. We'll answer questions, and we welcome interaction, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, what do we got? We got a card today, don't we? What is the topic?
It's the Mother card. We did Maiden last week. It's going to be Mother this week. I'm so excited. You know,
I love Mother energy, and it's funny because I'm dealing with today's been a day, so I've been dealing with my mother all day today, so I've got some things to say.
Hey, Daniel. You know, one of the things that I really, one of the movie quotes that stood out upon me, really, you hear a movie quote and you're like, wow, that goes on the billboard in my head of movie quote. Mother is the word for God on the lips of all children.
Yes, I love that. What is that? What movie is that? That's from, isn't that from a scary movie?
The Crow.
The Crow. Yes. Okay, so not scary, but it was a.
It was scary to the mom he said it to.
Yes, but it straightened her up real quick.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that will. The Mother card is, also like the Strength card on the wheel. The Strength card and the Mother card are in the same spoke of the wheel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When I look at it, like right here, the wheel this is the Wheel of Wise. This is my brainchild. And on this spoke right here, you have Strength, and you have M, which is, I think they call it Ewaz. It looks like they say it's two horses touching noses, but it looks like an M to me. Yeah. And Demeter. And so one of the things that really struck me about the power of Mother and the Strength card is the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world.
Yes.
And Mother has all the ability to make or break you. That the Strength card is this queen or princess with a lion sitting in her lap like a pet, right?
Yep.
She's turned this cat into a pet, right? And that's very much, we get these little wild animals, and we either can turn them into, serial killers or brilliant CEO presidents and inventors and changers of the world in great ways, right?
Oh, yeah. We can either domesticate our children and send them to the world, or send them out feral and wild.
Right. Like Generation X. Vampire boy in the back. Hey, Daniel. Daniel knew that was the Crow. He caught my quote. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah. So, mother is an aspect of the goddess Demeter, the great mother.
Yeah.
Demeter literally means the mother, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I love, the thing I like about this, and we talked about this last week with maiden energy also, is it's not gender specific. It's not about you don't have to have children to have mother energy. I know a lot of people who are nurturing, who take care of people who don't have children. They are not biological mothers, but they're spiritual mothers, they're foster mothers, they're just friends who might be known as like I'm Mama Lola in my group because I like to make sure people are taken care of. And even that was even before I had children. I always wanted to make sure everyone was taken care of. My heart would go out, I would nurture. And so you can have that mother energy, and it doesn't matter what gender or where you are in your life. I think mother energy is nurturing, and it's important to have that.
Well, they call me Mama Bella, and I'll mother you right now. Come to my house and watch me.
Yes, she does.
I have one of my students. He was a wildling. And I'm like, okay, so you have to use a pillow and you have to use a cover. And so the other day he came downstairs and he had done his nighttime ritual. He had brushed his teeth. He'd done all his things. He was on the couch. He had the pillow and the blanket on the couch with him, but in the night he had kicked them off. I thought it was
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
We have these opportunities to incorporate habits into our lives that make it easier for us to be successful in life. And our mother often is the one that teaches us these things.
Now, what would you say? Because I know I've done these discussions quite a bit, and a lot of times this card or this energy brings up some uncomfortableness too, because there's a lot of people who didn't have that nurturing energy growing up. And so I find it's very therapeutic for people who may not have had that nurturing energy to tap into it. And you'll find that a lot of people who might have had very dysfunctional relationships with their mothers or the mother figure in their life, they go one of both ways. They either overdo the nurturing to others, or they don't trust and they don't know how to nurture, because we do learn that from our moms. And everybody has a mom. I don't care what kind of relationship you have with her, everybody has a mother.
Well,
and that's a huge part in our lives, whether it's a negative experience, a positive experience, right? It
yeah.
affects
and your
us.
Your mother might have been hugely neglectful and absent, but that's the mother you got. Your mother might have, passed away early. That's the experience you have. That's what Lola's saying, is you might not have a connection with her now, but everybody was born, and because of that, you have a mother, whether you were put up for adoption or what. Yeah. And I really struggle with my mother, because everybody wants their mother to be awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like the most beautiful person that you knew growing up usually is your mom, and if it's not, then
it's heartbreaking.
It is. And well, it's like mother is the word for God. Well, maybe mother is the word for Satan in some of our instances. Because my mother would go to church and she would come home and not like me, and then we'd spend all week getting our relationship back on track, and then she would go to church and it would start all over again. It was really hard. And she still is in an abusive kind of church thing. Yeah. And what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, you can't.
The only thing you can do from bad relationships with your mother is learn from them and try to do better. You're still going to make mistakes, but you can try to do better. And that's all you can do with that.
Well, I grew up with I'm close to my mom, but we are very different people. Very, very, very different people. And she was very loving, but she was also very, very old fashioned. So, she's an older generation. So she didn't talk about sex with me. She didn't talk about any of those things of like that are important to a daughter when she's, coming of age. And we just didn't talk about those things. There was just certain things that were taboo that we could not talk about. And so I always said with my kids, you can talk to me about anything, like, and sometimes that bites me in the butt because sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't want to know that, but I'm glad you came to me with that. I kind of think
that happened to me. That happened to me with my daughter. My daughter, the Aries. Aries children are going to just tell you what they did. And she comes down, she sits down, she's like, I lost my virginity today. And I was like,
you're like, oh no.
How do you feel about that, babe? It's good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, okay. Well, let me know if you want to talk about it anymore. So I just want to tell you. Okay. Yeah. So, it's better than not knowing.
Yes. My boys, I have 2 boys, and they have come to me with, like, my oldest boy came to me when he was thinking about losing his virginity, or he was thinking about, and he came to his mother, and I'm like, that's a big deal. I mean, that's a big deal for the son to go, Mom. And I'm like, did you go to your dad with this? And he's like, no, I'm coming to you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had to like take a moment and go, but I think I've always had that nurturing energy in me. Like we were talking about, I was Mama Lola for a long time. And I like to provide I think that's why I like being a high priestess too, is because I like to provide and hold that sacred space for people where they can just be and they can express and be vulnerable. And that's a big part of nurturing energy.
Daniel said he felt like his mother was like Hera, and there was love but strict, straightforward lessons. I love Hera.
Oh, yeah.
She is, oh, yeah, that's awesome. Like, she is right there telling you like a coach, right? Mm-hmm. Making you better. And I like the pomegranate in the trees. Brenna likes the pomegranates in the trees.
Of course she does. Our little...
those little lessons. All those many choices. Yeah, I like the and I like the reading of the book, because what you teach children, you make a difference in the life of a child, and it makes a difference in their life, right?
Yeah, it does.
Seeds. Yeah.
Well, how do you think that we use that nurturing energy in our craft? Like what, because I think that when we are casting spells or doing ritual work, I always like to try to think of where's the mother energy in circle. Where do you think it is? Do you think it is high priestess taking care of us? Do you think it's before ritual or after when we're feeding each other, or we're providing food? I mean, there's different aspects in ritual and in our craft that we use mother energy. Those were just a couple I could think of, but can you think of?
Well, I think that some people would say that you're invoking the maiden, and some people would say that you're invoking the mother, but I think you're invoking whatever your intention is to be invoking. Mm-hmm. And the nurturing eating afterwards is definitely mother energy. That's part of the fire, is the activity of eating. But I guess I used to dissect them all out, and then I realized that they were all present at the same time, because it was all part of a whole. Yeah. And but the mother energy is the action, it's the fire, right? Yeah. So like you've got earth, air, fire, and water. You have maiden, mother, queen, crone.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have the triplicities. You have cardinal, fixed, and mutable, and that is oak king, priest king, holly king. If you use astrology in conjunction with your Wicca, you'll find the holes in some of the traditions where people leave things out in modern witchcraft because they're initiatory things that are hidden. And so if you use astrology, you can easily see the things that are left out of the books.
Yep, absolutely. There's a note here that I have from many, many years of discussing this, and there's a note that I want to say: a true mother gives you what you need and not what you want. I like that, because that is, we have to, as mothers or teachers or nurturing energies, sometimes it's tough love, right? You know, you think of nurturing as like always, you know, kind and giving in, but you know, there's like what Daniel said, you know, you've got the strict lessons like Hera, you know, maybe a little more strict, or you might have the very loving mother like Demeter. You might have, you know, I think that Hecate is a tough motherly figure, but she can also be very nurturing. I mean, we can't leave out that just because you are mother energy and have that loving energy, love is tough sometimes.
Well, you know, it's your mother's job to say, your breath smells, go brush your teeth. You need to take a shower. When's the last time you ate vegetables? Did you change your sheets? Do you have clean underwear? Like, it's your mother's job, and it gets really frustrating for people because your mother is your own built-in critic. And she's also your own built-in cheer squad, right?
Cheerleader, yeah. I was just gonna say,
I will cheer you all across the finish line, but I'm gonna say, adjust here. If you don't try to dance with your toes turned in, your hips won't do that weird thing on the outside. You know what I mean? Like, there's all of these little tweaks that happen, and sometimes we get frustrated with it. And you know, some moms just don't know how to mother. That we were raised by cavemen. Some of us are passing down abuse, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But not all women have. I'm sorry. Go ahead, hon.
I know that most mothers love their children enough to try their best.
Well, there's also, you know, I have some female friends who are just wonderful women, but they have admitted freely as mothers, and some are not mothers, that they don't have that maternal instinct in them. I know mothers, doesn't make them a bad mother. I have a friend that she has a wonderful child who is like 15 now, very smart girl, fed, clothed, you know, make sure she goes to school. But her mother, who's a friend of mine, says, I'm just not a maternal type of mother. I don't have that maternal instinct, but I've raised my child. You know, I'm raising my child. And at first, being such a maternal person that I am, I was like, well, how can you not be maternal? Like, I almost mistook it for, you don't love your child. No, I learned real quick, because there's different types of mothering. And I know people who just have mothers that do what they need to do, but there's not a lot of that maternal instinct. Do you know what I mean? Have you known people?
I think that people judge themselves really harshly. I don't know. I'm the kind of mother that opened you a checking account at 12 so that when you were 19, you could just go out and get a car loan. You know, I'm the kind of mother that took all of the child support and put it in your bank account and taught you how to manage and budget your money. And I was the kind of mother that dropped you off at karate practice and did not sit there and watch you, and sat in the car and worked, right?
Yeah.
And then picked you back up. So maternal instincts are different. There were all kinds of moms that were sitting in there and watching their kids, and they probably had husbands that were working so that they could sit there too, right? Like, I raised 3 children as a single mother, and it was difficult. So I worked, but I think
that didn't mean you weren't. That didn't mean that you weren't maternal. You just had maternal instincts.
I think that maternal instincts look different to people, because I judge myself because I didn't want to get up in the morning and be all cheery and make breakfast and, you know, do all that kind of stuff. I don't want to make breakfast.
I didn't do it either. And that is mothers judge themselves like, oh, I need to be like, you know, Donna Reed in the freaking 50s, you know, and have breakfast ready for the kids and pack their lunches. And oh, if that's what maternal instinct is judged on, then I've had none of that.
Right. Like, you know, do you expect that you should have on a dress and an apron and your hair and makeup done at 6 a.m. so that you can get the children up with a smile and a song? I mean, that's not the kind of mom I am. I just think that everybody has maternal and paternal in them, but sometimes they judge it.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, and we have all these crazy gender ideas, and I don't mean like insane. I mean just not the same as everybody else. Nobody knows what normal is, right?
Well, with gender identity becoming such a forefront now, it's really made us look at how we stereotyped mother gender, father gender. My mom says I'm cool. I like that.
Yeah, my mom says I'm cool. That's cool.
But you can have a father be the mother and father, and single dads.
Yeah.
You can have, you can have it. And again, it's not about gender, and I like that we talk about that because this is modern time, and it's a nurturing, protective, guiding energy that anyone can have for anybody.
Well, and we see animals nurture their children in different ways, right? Their offspring. Yep. And we as witches identify with different, like I'm more of an owl, right? Or maybe a fox mother. Then maybe you might be more of a wolf or a bear mother, like I could be tiger mom sometime, and that's just different, right? Yeah. So I think that everybody judges themselves harshly on those kinds of things, and
we need to stop doing that because like you said, we're doing the best we can. Our parents did the best they can. I just dealt with my mother today, who like I said, I love her dearly. She's in her 80s. My dad just passed away, so this is her partner, her love of her life of 62 years. So she's a little lost and old, and and I have to be very patient, and she means well, but there's just, it's patience right now. And so I'm like, when we're talking about mother energy, I'm like, oh, I have lost my patience for my mom today. She's not watching, thank God. She doesn't watch.
Thank God, I know, right? Like my mom doesn't watch my stuff either. So I wrote a book, and my mother doesn't read it. She's like, no, I don't want to read it. Okay, Mom, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, so one of the things that I was thinking about when you were talking about that is I believe in the realm of the fates. Z. Budapest wrote a book called Summoning the Fates. And it's a really good book if you want to check that out. But it illustrates the point of from 0 to 28, you're in the realm of the first fate. And they're responsible for making sure that you receive the experiences you need to fulfill your contract. And then from 28 to 54, it's your Saturn return. Your Saturn return comes around and you move to the next fate. We did a sickle on it. It was really awesome. I think you were there. And then at 54, you move into the realm of the last fate, right? Yeah. And then if you live through to your next Saturn return, you're on bonus time. But
I love that. Yeah.
The 0 to 28, you're getting what you need to fulfill your contract. So every mother and father are doing what the universe needs them to do, sometimes at the sacrifice of their own karma, right?
Yes.
To ensure that you get what you need to fulfill your contract. And there are things that I look back on that happened between me and my children where I'm like, man, I wish I would have made a different choice right there.
Oh,
because, it defines them. But I know that, man, everything happens for a reason. So
it does.
You got to kind of forgive yourself, which then means you have to forgive your mother.
I know. I was just going to say, because there are some things I've done and said and ways I've reacted that I'm not proud of in front of my children. But I always try to make it known that I'm very quick to say to my kids, what I just did then, or what I just said then, I apologize for that. That is not the norm. I'm having a bad day, whatever it is, because my parents never did that with me. So
Right.
it was almost like do as I say, not as I do. Is that what it is?
Yes, do as I say, not as I do is
Yes.
their number one mantra. And also never let the kids think that you're wrong.
Yes.
But I've told my children, everybody makes a mistake, and that was one of mine right there. And I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I've made it really clear. There's things that I do that I judge my existence. I don't like that. I don't like the daddy chair. I don't like the not apologizing. I don't like the not touching children and letting them know that they're loved. I mean, human touch. So I make sure I do that with my kids and setting them up for success, for goodness sakes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a fine line. I know that my parents have judged how I mother my kids, and I have been told in the past you coddle them too much, but I always want my kids to know that they have a safe place to land when it comes to our home and our energy. And that, we just want our kids to be loving, good people. And again, we're doing the best we can. I think our parents tried to do the best they could. And hopefully it just gets better, even if it's incremental.
Even if it's incremental, we can, that's all we can do is get better, right? That's all we can do.
Absolutely.
Britta said forgiveness, the hardest pill to swallow sometimes. That is the truth. Sometimes we feel like if we just hold on to that hurt, that it'll make the other person feel bad, but it doesn't. It's just a burden for you to carry around that's making yourself miserable. You got to let that go. But yeah,
I was just watching something about forgiveness the other day, and it said forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about yourself. And because to forgive someone for something, they may never change. They may never even hear that you forgave them. It's about what you're holding on to. And so, yeah, I love that forgiveness, the hardest pill to swallow.
Yeah. You don't necessarily even have to tell them. You just have to let it go and decide that you're not holding on to it anymore, because your hurt's not about them. It's about you. Yep.
Yeah.
And, I like the saying, holding on to hate and anger and pain like that, it's like drinking poison and hoping that the other person gets sick.
Yes. I love that too. Yeah.
You're continuing to victimize yourself every day by hanging on to it.
Can I ask you something about being, high priestess? Well, you're archpriestess, but you have your students and your Mama Bella, and I'm in my little group, I'm Mama Lola. Do you ever find it difficult? Is there a blurred line between treating your student like a student and mothering them like a mother? Do you find that difficult, or are you able to be like, because sometimes I've had to tell people I teach, like, I'm not your mother, so don't but there are some that do treat their students very motherly, and there's ones that separate. What do you think about that?
Well, I wouldn't use the phrase, I'm not your mother. Yeah. I would use the phrase of, I can't be there for you with this one. This is not my place. You need to go to this person for that. Or I'm not comfortable, or, whatever it is. I define my boundary in a different way. Yeah. I'm not your mother is, of course you're not their mother. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but there's an amazing things that you have to teach your students. I had to teach a student that she couldn't just throw her coat on over her pajamas and show up at class. She had to get up and brush her teeth and take a shower and get dressed and take her coat off when she got to the house. And she's like, I understand why I have to take my coat off, because you just have to groom, right?
Yes.
You have to groom. I mean, it's just, you just have to. It's what we do as human beings. It'll get you out of, she's like, well, I'm depressed. Well, if you groom, you won't be so depressed. Like there's this thing, like if you're depressed and you make yourself smile, your brain will go, are we happy? And it'll put out endorphins, and then you'll feel happier. There's things that we do that bring about certain responses because we're humans, and that's eagles fly, humans groom, they're social. You got to teach them to do these things. Now, if they call me freaking out in the middle of the day like a child would, when they're like, I'm fighting with, my sister just pulled my ponytail and you're at work and I need you to be home, kind of thing, because they're fighting with somebody or something like that. I help them the first time.
Yeah.
And then I say, these are not crises that you can call and interrupt my day with a bunch of drama over. I may expect you to deal with this yourself next time. Well, so I lay down a boundary.
Yes, I was going to say it's about setting boundaries, because there is a motherly instinct in us and a nurturing. As a high priestess, I just want my covenanters to feel safe and that they can express themselves and that I have guidance for them. But then there's that boundary. And I've never used the words, I was just using it as an example. I really never have said, I'm not your mother, but that kind of thing where it's like, oh, that's, I
didn't think you would. I thought that was for the watchers.
Yeah. Like because we do, and we're looked upon. I mean, I've had people look at me in the community and be like, you're like the mother I never had. And it's sweet because I know where they come from, but at the same time, I'm like, there is a separation between like, I'm here to teach and guide, but I'm also not going to be there 24/7 for you when you're having emotional.
No. Well, I mean, like if you're suicidal, I will sit you in the living room and make sure you don't kill yourself while we're waiting on the ambulance to come. But exactly. But I will expect you as a student to not become suicidal. Like I want you to have yourself together more before I take you as a clergy member. When you become a student like that, this is extra. This is not foundational. This is extra, right?
Yeah.
But you get church members who need that guidance. And I think in some instances, we model better family behavior, but more healthier family behavior. That's the word I'm looking for. But healthy family behavior. And then people heal and they feel safe and there's growth from that, And I think that's good for people. But there's some people that take it too far and you have to we're
a spiritual family. These are our spiritual brothers and sisters. These are our spiritual, however you look at it. So, I mean, there's people who get more from coven and circle work than they ever got from their family. And so that's a valid energy that we're giving out. And that's wonderful. And again, it's holding that space for someone. And it's very similar to what I just said with my kids. I do want people to feel that it's a safe place to land when they're floating away and they feel like they're out of control. Come land, come ground with us, come get some food, maybe sleep on my couch. You know what I mean? Like, let's get you grounded, and then let's start working yourself back up so you can do the spiritual work that you're supposed to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes you got to help people put the earth altar in order.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you want to talk about mother goddesses?
Well, speaking about mother goddesses, I want to talk about Hecate Sickle Festival is coming up October 5th through the 8th, and it is going to be on animal magics, familiars, the power of animals in your life. I know, Lola, you have Ziggy, and you have other animals that they're old, and you love them. I have old Honey Bear. She got her shot today. She has been a reincarnated familiar for me. Honey Bear was a different dog, and she went off into these woods, and then she came out of those woods a puppy of the same breed, really close to the same breed. And I think that's kind of cool, because they have very similar personalities. They say that familiars, spirits refind you, right? Like they're soul family. They refind you. They find a body that'll allow them to be with you. And I think that's pretty cool. There's a lot of neat things about animal familiars
Yeah.
that we're going to be discussing, and there will be live animals there, Lola. Live. We're gonna have a miniature pony.
I love that. Oh my God. What little girl or little boy, it don't matter, didn't want a miniature pony?
Big girl. A big girl wants a miniature pony. Me. There's going to be an owl there that we can pet. There's going to be dragons. And what we're trying to get a raven. We've got somebody that says they're going to bring a dove. We have spiders and snakes and all kinds of exciting things. You guys, if you want to come, it's www.sickle.atcwicca.org. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to get to experience animal magic. There you go. Rabbits and frogs, and the hotel. I said, can we bring animals? And she said, sure, why not? She said, sure, why not? And so we're bringing animals. It's going to be
animals. And so you can bring your own pets and stuff, right? So I could bring Cow to the hotel.
You could bring Cow to the hotel. You sure could. Now, you're going to want to know that when we're doing these events, though, that there's going to be all these other animals. And if you're going to want to go near the other animals, Cow might be a problem.
Yeah, Cow's well, we sometimes keep her separated. She's still a puppy. Still a puppy.
You know, like you might want to consider that you're going to want to leave your animal in your hotel room sometimes, and in a crate, maybe even.
Yep.
So think that one through, because how would Cow respond to an owl when you want to pet the owl?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
How would he respond to you checking out the rats or the snakes or the, you know, you're going to want to go through the woodland zoo and all that. So you guys think about that when you're bringing your animals. They're welcome in the hotel. You might decide that you wished you had adult time without your animal.
That's true too. Yes.
Yeah.
So
let's look at that card and talk about what it would be if we got it in a reading, right? If I received this in a reading, if I drew the mother card in a reading, I would think I need to pay attention to the people in my life today. Somebody might need me. I would probably call and check on my mother and make sure she's okay, because she's 78.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would also check on my children and make sure that nobody needed me. I'd be extra vigilant on that day.
Yeah, for me, this is just what's going on. I mean, you know, with my dad's funeral tomorrow, and there's so much family in town, and my mom's a little overwhelmed. I think this card would mean just keep being patient with her, because this is my mom. She is, but I mean, you know, we're all grown children, but she loves her grandchildren. She loves her adult children so much, and she read to us, she nurtured us, she fed us, she hugged us, and right now, you know, even if she doesn't want to admit, we can return that back to her and just be gentle. I did lose my patience today with my mother, and I feel a little bad, but my mom is half deaf, so I don't even think she heard me lose it.
Well, that's good news.
Because I kind of got snippy with her, and then I went, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she was like, "Blah blah blah." Just
I wonder what our guests would think if they got this in the card. If you drew this card, what would you think that it meant to you? And Lola, your poor mom. You know what? One of the things that I think causes us to pass away is when we are when we no longer fit in with the time. And you have to be patient, because those people that their paradigm is no longer on the planet, right? Like, I don't understand what these kids are doing today, kind of stuff, right? So keep your mind flexible. Stay hip with the kids today. Understand, right?
I'm trying.
And at the same time,
I tell you what, my kids make me feel very uncool sometimes, but I think that's kind of their job.
Yeah, mine too.
Brenna said if she got this card, it would be "Call Your Mother" might be one of my interpretations.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking too. Call your mother, make sure she's okay. Maybe tell her how much you appreciate her.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, mothers run off of gratitudes. They don't get paid in anything else.
Well, and while people are taking a look, we were about to talk about like Demeter's a mother goddess. What are some other mother goddesses that you're familiar with?
Gaia,
Uh-huh.
Ceres, Pachamama,
Hera.
Pachamama, Caridwen, Danu.
Do you think Aphrodite's a mother goddess?
I think of Aphrodite as a maiden goddess, although she does have children. I think she really embodies maiden energy more than mother, but she does have children.
Yeah. Brenna says, I got to tell Mother Demeter how grateful I am for her and all she has given me this weekend, and it was awesome. Yes, I heard that Demeter came and visited the church this weekend.
Oh, yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brenna, I think that it's more like Hera when she's, it's less critical and than it's Aphrodite can be. Yeah, Demeter came and I don't remember because I was the vessel, but they said that everybody cried and had a really good time. And it's always an honor to get to hold Demeter. She's been really busy lately, though. One of the things I do remember is that one of her votaries, a vessel from a previous year, was like, I feel really distant. And I'm like, as talking to her as me, I was like, I feel really distant too. But when I invoked Demeter, the thing I got was two voices. There was the familiar, I'm really happy to be here energy, loving on me energy that Demeter comes in with. But then there was this other, I'm busy kind of background.
Yeah.
Stuff. And I was like, she's busy. First of all, it's harvest. Second of all, there's some stuff going on, So, she was really glad to get to sit down and be with everybody, but she's also very busy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's the great mother. And I also think of, someone mentioned Gaia. Forrest Dudley said, ironically, Gaia is my personal patron, so I can really connect to this. Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you, Forrest. That's fantastic.
That's awesome. So yeah, Gaia and our Mother Earth, we have to, our Mother Earth. You know what she does though? She resets, doesn't she? Just like a mom does. Like, don't make me turn this car around. And I think,
yeah, right. Well, the thing about it is, and whether it's Aphrodite, Hera, Demeter, or Nethys, right? The balance is going to exert itself. People are worried about the earth is going to be uninhabitable. Oh, it'll be inhabitable or something.
Yeah,
maybe not us.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the larger scale of what that mother energy is, because mother energy, like we said, can take beautiful care of you and provide you with this abundance. But if these children do not appreciate what I'm doing, I will show them what it's like to be without. Yeah.
Winter
absolutely.
is coming.
Winter is coming, or the pandemic. I don't want to get. This isn't. I know some people say pandemic. It's a political thing. No, it's not. But Mother Earth reset herself. She just reset herself.
Yeah. Well, she told us it was coming.
Yeah.
So we were prepared. It's different. We have a different paradigm about it because we knew something was coming. And when it came, we were like, wow, she told us it was coming. So for us, it's definitely different paradigm. But yeah, she's trying to reset the planet. And she's going to keep trying to reset the planet. And no, she's not political. She doesn't care about our politics. She's way older than that. Our lives are so short, so short.
Yes.
Compared to hers. So She
grand
just knows
scheme.
that it's getting hot in here, so she gonna take off all her clothes. You know?
Oh my God, I love you, Bella. Oh
Oh my goodness.
us pagans and witches don't mind taking off all our clothes. So I
No,
mean, you know.
we don't. So I would like to invite you to check out wiccanseminary.edu. It is the college that I founded and Lola is a graduate from. We would love to have you. And of course, you can always go to atcwicca.org and find out what we're doing there. Becoming a member is really easy. You just have to decide you are. There's a place that you can join right there on the website. We love to have you and are a very welcoming group. We're very tolerant and all encompassing.
We're fun too.
We are fun, Lola. If you want to get more of Lola Stardust in your life, then
Oh yeah,
I meant that Earl, Lola.
Yeah, Lola Stardust at wiccanseminary.edu. Go ahead and contact me. I'm taking some online students, or I just got a lot of stuff online going on. So if you're interested in what I do online, ask away.
Yeah, I'm taking students too. It's weird that, well, you know why we're taking students right now? It's because the pandemic's over and we were like, oh, I haven't taken any new students for 3 years. There's tons of room in here. So, yeah,
absolutely.
So hit us up. We're happy to talk to you. It's always fun to meet more pagans, right?
Yes, it is.
All right.
And don't forget Sickle Festival. Heck yeah.
Oh my gosh, people come to Sickle from all over. So if you're like, oh, that's West Coast, it is as close as your nearest airport because the hotel is right there at the airport. You can throw your suitcase from the terminal.
Don't do that, but you could if you wanted.
Don't, but you could if you wanted to.
Well, maybe Bella will sing more songs about taking off all your clothes. I don't know. Maybe this will be something we do. Who
knows? Who knows? Anything could happen. Thank you for spending your. Do you have something else?
Oh, I was gonna say then, and she put our producer Isadora put Wiccan Cauldron too, the store, on there too.
Yes. WiccanCauldron.com is our store. If you want to get ATC and magical supplies, that's where you would want to go. And we are so grateful that you spent your time with us. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, share, forward, hit that notification button so you'll get our new stuff. And we'll see you next Monday at 5 o'clock Pacific.
And we'll be talking about the Queen energy.
The Queen.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.